Sierra Rose, Gregory Bowers, Dasha Antipova, Stephanie Jockman, Kevin Mahoney, Jack Dickens, Geraldine Paredes, Max Morinelli, Irene Orisha, Ondell Husbands. Monday, April 10th, 2017. Coming to you from the beautiful University of South Florida campus in Tampa, it's USF Housing Live! Welcome everyone. My name is Gregory Bowers with Housing and Residential Education here at the beautiful University of South Florida in Tampa. We're the best place to live, the best place to work, and the best place to learn. This is a special episode. We have 3 guests from living learning communities with us. So without further ado, let's go ahead and meet everyone. First up, we've got Lauren Digiovanni from the Bulls Business Community. How you doing, Lauren?
I'm doing well, and I'm really happy to be here.
This is your first time on the show, right?
Yes, so I'm a newbie. Be gentle.
All right, giddy up. Here we go. Next up, another newbie. We have got Lindsey Williams from the Education Living Learning Community. Lindsey, how you doing?
Great, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I have to share with everyone, Lindsey was actually in my grad program with me back in the 20s. It was awesome. We talked a lot about prohibition, right? It was a crazy time.
Absolutely, yeah.
So finally, and last but not least, we have Dr. Stephen Surensey from the American Sign Language Living Learning Community. Dr. Surensey, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Well, happy to have you here. Are you ready for me to start firing some questions at you?
I hope so.
Let's get right to it. So tell us, who are you and what do you do here?
So I teach in the Department of Communication Sciences and Disorders. I'm a linguist, and I work with our Deaf Studies and ASL interpreting programs. So those programs teach American Sign Language, and we work to teach students who want to maybe teach people who are deaf, interpret for people who are deaf, and work with the deaf community here in the United States.
Now the ASL, or American Sign Language LLC, is brand new, opening up this fall, right?
That's right. So an LLC obviously is an opportunity for students to come and practice the language all day, every day. So rather than just being able to practice American Sign Language for a few hours a week in the classroom, they're able to take that, what they're learning in the classroom or what they already know, maybe from their high school experience or from some other situation where they may have learned, and bring that into the residence halls and practice when they're hanging out, when they're eating, when they're having special opportunities to meet with faculty members and guests, and really use the language all day. And that's going to help them to develop their signing abilities more quickly than they would if they were just practicing in the classroom.
So tell us, who is eligible for this brand new LLC experience?
Yeah, so we're starting this LLC this year, and the requirements that we've set really are somewhat flexible because we know that people may have learned to sign through formal classes in high school, they may have taken classes at a community college, they may have learned in some sort of nonprofit church or community organization, or they may have learned from a friend or a family member who's deaf. So we require students to fill out the application and explain to us what their experience is. We also ask them to send us a video or a link to a video of themselves using the language, introducing themselves, explaining why it is that they're interested in the LLC. We do that not because we have super high expectations, but just because we want to make sure that the people who are coming in meet a basic level of expectation. We don't want them to be too novice and frustrated and unable to communicate. But we want to know that they are going to be able to just have basic communication, be able to express their needs, talk to people, and then from there we expect that their language skills are going to advance and grow quite quickly.
Cool, awesome. And there's something I've learned recently about the experience, and that is that it's a voice-off experience in the hall. So what does that mean?
That's right. So whenever you're using American Sign Language, that really requires the use of the entire body, the entire face, and even the mouth, the tongue. There are all sorts of facial gestures that are used. So it's impossible to sign in American Sign Language and speak at the same time effectively. So as a result, you really need to turn your voice off so that you can focus fully on the signing that you're doing. And so as you're doing that, it also gives you the opportunity to practice watching what a person's signing and understanding. So we need to have everybody have their voices off so that you can be fully focused on using sign language, using the ASL. So from the time you walk into the residence community to the time you go into your private room, which of course in your own room you're able to talk and do whatever you want to do. But that shared space is a voice-off space devoted exclusively to signing.
Awesome. And for everyone watching, just to remind you, if you have any questions at all for any of our guests during the program, go ahead, type them in the comments. I'll send them to me right here on the set. We'll answer you in real time. And so you're the LLC coordinator, and tell me, what can the students expect from their interaction with you?
So yeah, there are actually two faculty members that are working closely with the LLC, myself as well as Sam Thomas, and we are going to be really devoting a lot of attention to the students who have entrusted their education to us. We're developing programs that include weekly programs, dinners together, visitors from the deaf community that will be coming into the residence hall, interacting with the residents, some opportunities to visit deaf organizations in the Tampa Bay area, even some trips a little further away we take a trip every year already with our ASL USF Bulls Club to the School for the Deaf here in Florida, as well as to Gallaudet University, which is a university specifically for people who are deaf, where ASL is used. So the people who are in this LLC are going to have really first access to all of these opportunities. And as a result, again, their language is going to really significantly improve as they're exposed to all these opportunities every day.
Awesome, and we've got just about 30 seconds left. Can you tell me why living the ASL LLC, how's it going to be helpful in helping students fully acquire American Sign Language knowledge?
Well, if you don't live in the LLC, it's still possible to learn, but you got to do a lot of work. You got to find those opportunities. If you come live in the LLC, we're going to bring those opportunities to you. And so really going to take a lot of pressure off of you, because you're going to just be able to sort of sit back and let the experiences come to you.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Cernucci, thank you so much for coming on the program tonight.
Thanks so much for having me.
And of course, if anyone's watching, you have questions, everyone's here for the whole show, so make sure to ask them, and we can always come back to Dr. Cernucci for you. And so coming up next, we're going to be speaking with Lindsey Williams from the Education LLC. But first, we've got a few videos to roll for you. More Housing Live coming your way right after this.
It felt like I was walking into a family. I was walking into a group of friends that were going to have my back.
The study abroad trip to London was a lot of fun that our LLC went on as a group, and we got to tour international agencies, which was amazing.
And they even bring tutors to our floor, which helps a lot. And really just all the events that go on in the Bulls Business Community with professional development, etiquette dinners, corporate tours, everything.
For residents, the Honors LLC is special because it represents their family away from home.
Really started to grow in a professional environment. I networked a lot, met a lot of other people in my field, which was amazing. I came back because it's an amazing experience. All of the friends that I've made in combination with all of the amazing events that we do is breathtaking, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
So we all live and study together in the same place, and it really helps stay focused, because pre-nursing is a really hard track, especially with the anatomy courses, so it helps to have that support.
You get a lot more than just a floor of engineers. With the floor of engineers, you get study partners, you get mentors, and you get like lifelong relationships, I feel.
It's more one-on-one. It's very personal. They get to know you more on an individual basis.
Through the LLC, we actually got to have a dinner with the deans, so I got to meet all of the deans of the College of Education.
As soon as I moved in, though, I met so many people that are going to be my lifelong friends, so I would highly recommend it to anyone considering it.
Go Bulls!
Go Bulls!
Go Bulls! Share those similar interests and really have that support and encouragement.
I would say if you're not sure, just go for it. I wasn't sure either, but I went for it, and it was honestly the best experience.
I think any student that has an interest in American Sign Language will also have an interest in deaf culture. It's going to be totally voice off in the halls, meaning you can't talk, you have to use sign language. I don't think you're going to get another opportunity like this.
It helps build really profound relationships with the people that you live with. You go to class with these people, you see them on a daily basis, and you get to really develop some great friendships through it.
I'm part of the ROTC LLC, which is made up of people from all 4 services.
What the ROTC LLC brings to it is the fact that they're living and breathing with students from the other services as well. So the important thing there is that they're living with like-minded students, sharing the common experience of ROTC, and also life at USF, but also learning more about the other services.
It's made me a more global bull. I get to work with students that are from all different communities, from all over the world, all over the country.
If you were to live in the LLC, you could experience anything from spaghetti dinners with African safari guides to going snorkeling in some of the prettiest springs in Florida.
Hey everyone, we are back. For those of you just joining us, I'm Gregory Bowers with Housing and Residential Education at the beautiful University of South Florida. We are now speaking with Lindsey Williams from the amazing Education Living Learning Community. Lindsey, tell us, who are you and what do you do here?
My name is Lindsey Williams. As you just said, I work in the College of Education. I've been there since 2011. I've been at USF since 2009, and I was a student in the College of Ed, and then I was fortunate enough to be hired as a full-time professional staff member there. I've been with our Living Learning Community since it started, the year that it took, and more than a year it took for the planning in order to even bring our first class in 2013, and so we're so excited to welcome our 5th group of LLC students this fall. I work with advising those students, planning different recruitment and retention outreach initiatives for all students who are interested in what it's like to pursue a career in education.
Awesome. And so tell us, who's eligible for your LLC and why would they want to join?
Well, all students who are incoming FTICs, or first-time in college students who are interested in majoring in education, if you think you might want to learn more about education and you haven't fully declared it, you're still welcome to join. We would love for you to be a part of it. That's what we spend a lot of time doing, is helping people understand about the profession of education, how classroom teaching is one profession within the entire realm of education, and so we love to help people see what all they can do with an education degree.
Awesome. So tell us more about what your LLC adds to the student experience.
Sure, absolutely. Well, you know, I think it's interesting that Paula Kate, she's an instructor in the College of Education. She teaches a class called Introduction to the Teaching Profession. So if you come to USF and you major in education and you haven't taken that class somewhere else through dual enrollment or something, you're going to have her. So she sees every single student, and she said that the College of Education's LLC is the best thing that's ever happened to our college for our undergraduate student experience. And she said she can recognize students in our LLC from those who aren't. The students in our LLC have just a lot of opportunity to take their learning outside of the classroom. We try to partner with different community organizations like Junior Achievement to where students can get in front of a classroom and teach right away. And there's very few opportunities across the country where you go into a school and you say, hey, I want to do this. And we say, do it right away. We want to get you experience. But we know that's the best way to do it, is the more time you spend doing it. So we partner with different community educators, whether it be who, people who are teachers of the year who come and share their experiences with us, people who work in different capacities, maybe an education specialist at Busch Gardens, for example. That's an education degree. So there's a lot of different things, and students get an opportunity to see what all they can do with a degree in education and get to meet those people. We can all Google, what can I do with a degree in education? But I think there's just something about meeting people, networking with them, and getting the opportunity to get some hands-on experience.
Awesome. And that's actually a good segue to talk about you a little bit. You're the LLC coordinator.
Yes.
What can students expect from their interaction with you?
Well, I try to do everything that I can to help these students, and I will say that whatever I list or whatever I say isn't where the buck stops. So if students ask something of me or have ideas, I'm always willing to entertain those to some degree, right? I do in-hall advising, so the value of academic advising is really important. I don't know that I could really put words around how important academic advising is. I say that because I was an advisor for 5 years, of course. But there's just a lot of importance if you can find a good relationship with your academic advisor. And I'll tell you, during registration time, it can be very difficult to get an appointment with an academic advisor, but I try and make it easy. I survey students to find out what times they're available, and I come to Beta Hall with my laptop and I log into my computer and I help advise them right there. And so not only do they get the experience from me, but I didn't get my undergraduate degree from here, so they get experience from students who are also there in the hall who can share about course selection and things like that.
That's awesome. So parents have heard that you go inside the residence hall.
Yes, I do, yes.
So you go right to them to help them with all of this.
Yes, and I'm happy to do it.
That's awesome. It sounds like it definitely makes the campus smaller, more manageable for
Oh,
residents
absolutely.
there. And so what advice would you give to an incoming student? They're thinking about living on campus, but they're not sure about the Education LLC. What is it that's special about the LLC that pulls them in where they might just want to live on campus, not the LLC experience? What is that pull for them?
You know, if we had an LLC when I was an undergraduate, I just think that I would have jumped on that opportunity. I think if there's anything you can do during your university experience that's going to enhance what it is that you're studying, you should take advantage of that. Living on campus is an absolutely great decision that's going to help your experience on campus. And if you can live on campus in an environment that's associated with your academic major, you just can't beat that. One of our students told me, she's like, I really can't define it. She said, but when you're in the LLC, you're just more involved. You're more confident as an educator, and as you know your future profession, you just know you're going to be a really good educator when you graduate because of your experience in the LLC.
Awesome. And if I get just a few seconds left, can you tell me one word of advice to our incoming students that'll help them be successful as they transition?
One word?
Well, not one word. One sentence. Excuse me, sir. We'll raise the bar a little bit higher. What's one thing that you would like them to know?
I would just say be open to experiences. Don't be shut off. Come here. There's so many opportunities at USF, and take advantage of them. And that's a lot more than one word.
That's a lot of words, all good words, brought to you by Lindsey Williams of the Education LLC. Lindsey, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Greg.
And so coming up next, we're going to have Lauren Digiovanni from the Bulls Business LLC. But first, another episode of Jack Eats and another installment of our Your Llc documentary series. More Housing Live coming your way right after this.
Today we're going to make a Southern-inspired dish. It's a medley of black-eyed peas, sweet potatoes, and tomatoes over some really nice crispy cornbread pancakes. Let's dive right in. First we're going to cut up some garlic. One good-sized clove should be just the right amount. Add about a tablespoon of oil to your pan. Heat it up to medium-high, then you'll add your garlic in. Stir the garlic around with the oil. You'll just let that saute for a minute until the garlic's nice and brown. Now we're going to cut up some sweet potato. You can cut them as small or large as you'd like them to be, but bear in mind, the larger the pieces are, it'll take a little bit longer to cook. Now we're going to strain our black-eyed peas and give them a quick rinse. Now we'll add in our black-eyed peas and our sweet potatoes and mix that all together. We'll add in some herbs and spices now. A real good amount of smoked paprika, a little bit of cumin, and then some oregano. Then those things can cook under a lid for 5 minutes or so. Then you'll add a can worth of diced tomatoes. Now let's get started on our mixture for our cornbread pancakes. You're going to start with half a cup of cornmeal, and then half a cup of flour, then about a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, half a tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, then you add 3/4 of a cup of boiling water, tablespoon of oil, then you're going to add milk or your milk substitute of choice until it gets to the consistency of a normal pancake batter. Then we're going to heat up a skillet with some oil on it to about medium-high heat, and you're going to start cooking up your pancakes. When the medley is just about ready, you can add some spinach. Yeehaw! All right, now it's your turn to get in the kitchen. Join me next time. Thanks so much.
I definitely was nervous about moving in. I thought I would just be friends with my roommate, but all the people are really active, kind of they all nobody really stays in their room. You always see people around, so it was easy to make connections with everyone and build that community. I would tell them to look at the RA as more of kind of an older sibling. Our RA has become one of my friends too, and she's always hanging out with us, so it's really nice. All of us gather around together, and Larissa, my RA, will lead a discussion about what's been going on the past few months or what we're gonna do together as a community. The people I live with are all really nice and friendly. We all ask each other how our days are going, and we all really care about each other. We're all a little family. Nobody's quiet. Everyone's really friendly. We always would watch TV together. We all would meet out in the common room. We do that almost every day. Or we all do homework together or go to the library. Traditional style was better for me just because I enjoyed the smaller, tight-knit community that it offered. Because I live in traditional, I was able to meet a lot of people quickly, all at once. So I'm really glad I did it.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We are now speaking with Lauren Digiovanni from the Bulls Business Community. Lauren, welcome to the program.
I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, we got some questions for you. You ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Tell us, who are you and what do you do here?
So my name is Digiovanni, and I'm the advisor for the Bulls Business Community, also known as the BBC. So part of my role is actually as an academic advisor. So for our incoming students, I help advise them on majors, what classes they need to take, and all of that fun stuff. But I'm also the program advisor. So what I do is I plan different events throughout the semester for our students. So we have a yearly etiquette dinner in the fall, our Grow Financial Networking event in the spring semester. We do different programs throughout, but we also have 2 corporate tours per semester. So our students get to meet with different companies, different employers, and we've actually had students go to these events and come out with internships. So it's a really great opportunity.
That's incredible. So I'm sure a lot of students are interested. Can you tell us what are the requirements to get into your LLC?
So there are SAT or ACT requirements and a GPA requirement, which they can find out on our website. But even if students don't meet those minimum requirements, we still recommend that they apply, because if they're below those, what we'll do is we'll evaluate each student individually. So if a student sees that maybe they don't meet those kind of requirements, we still highly encourage them to apply.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And so tell us, why would students want to choose your LLC? What makes it special for them?
We really like to say that we're a small, tight-knit community at a large university. So the good thing is you're not taking every single class with your roommates together, but you're taking similar classes. So you're going to class together, complaining about class together, and studying for class together. We also have in-hall tutoring for some of our more difficult classes like business calculus and financial accounting. And we actually have second-year returners in the community, so they serve as mentors for our first-year students. So they've already been through the program once, and they're really there kind of as role models, but also as resources for students, because they could hear me talk about benefits of going to events all day, but they really want to hear from their peers why the BBC is such a great environment.
Awesome. And so there are tons of benefits, lots of activities. Yes. Could you choose a few of your favorites of the activities they're going to experience when they're in the LC?
Our etiquette dinner is one of my favorites. Students get a full course meal, but they're also taught by a trainer what fork to use, where to put their napkin, how to eat or roll, and different things like that. So it's fun, but they're actually gaining that experience for maybe one day when they're applying for a job and have to have a meal with potential employers. And then our corporate tours are a lot of fun. Each year we tend to do different companies, but students kind of learn that it's not as intimidating as they might think, meeting with different employers. So they get a lot of those kind of butterflies and kinks out their first year when it's not as high risk.
Awesome. And so you're the LLC coordinator?
Yes.
What do they expect from their experience with you?
I think they expect a lot. So we have some really high achieving business students, so they want to know that they're getting the bang for their buck. That's why we have these different types of programs going on. So they're learning their first year as opposed to their junior or senior year, kind of what is professional development, what kind of outfits do they need to wear, how do they shake somebody's hand, what's networking. So they get a lot of that as a freshman, so they usually knock it out after that. They have that initiative to kind of seek things out instead of kind of waiting for things to happen to them.
Awesome. And so when we think about the whole experience from when they first move in to completing that year in the living learning community, how are they going to be different when they leave?
I think they have a little bit more of a fire than other business students because they know how many opportunities, not just the community, but the Muma College of Business has for them, and even USF altogether. So they really try to take advantage of different leadership roles, different events that are going on campus. So they're really more likely to have initiative and seek things out. And a lot of times, the Muma College of Business will actually reach out to me and say, hey, do you have any students for this event that we're having? We need a couple of students. So I'll be like, here's a couple of them, and I'll send it right to them. So if somebody is looking for a really well-rounded business student, they are going to look at the BBC first.
Awesome. Let's give some advice to our incoming students. So it's a big transition coming to college. What advice do you have for them when they move into your LLC? What do they need to know to be successful just from the first day?
I would say just be engaged and be active. I think a lot of times it can be a bit overwhelming because there's so much going on, but not letting that hinder you. So not waiting around trying to see if there's a friend to go to an event. kind of finding that with kind of a little bit of courage within yourself and going, because it's going to pay off so much more at the end.
Awesome, awesome. And so do you have any advice for parents? They might have their first child going away to college. What advice do you have for them to prepare them for this transition?
I don't know if there are enough words to accurately prepare them, but I think having them in a major living learning community is especially beneficial, because they get that academic support, but they also get a lot of that professional development that's going to help them in their careers. So I think those are really going to be having those parents know the value of that type of experience.
That's excellent. I'm curious, anyone else on our dais has had that experience of, if you ever interact with a parent, they're kind of freaking out, getting ready for the transition. Anything we haven't touched on that you want to share with our parents as they prepare for this?
Well, one thing I would just say is like everyone has said, really embracing that new experience is really something that the whole family has to come to terms with. So it is this experience, this process of letting go and trusting. You do all your research now before you come, and you make a good decision, and you find that these are programs that we've invested so much time, so much effort into making sure that everything that you're going to get is really just top quality. And once you've done that research, then you can trust that the students are going to move on and are going to be in good hands as they continue their education. So I think it's that process of doing the research and then saying, okay, now it's time to let go and trust the experience, lean into the experience.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, thank you, and thank you all. And so it's good to have that advice out for everyone. Parents, don't freak out. Everything's going to be fine. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you.
I hope we have you back again soon.
I hope so too.
We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so we got more show coming your way, but first we're going to actually introduce another documentary series. We're going to meet Andel, and we've got a special announcement about Bull Hall. For those of you watching, incoming freshmen, current students, you can all participate in Bull Hall. It's an awesome opportunity. Learn more coming your way right after this.
My favorite part about visiting the rec center was how much there is to do there and how big it is. Like, there's 2 different levels, and even besides the 2 levels, there's 2 different basketball courts, which is my favorite sport. And there's so much equipment and there's so much activities that you can take part at the rec center. When I got here, the first thing that struck me about the rec center was just how massive it was. That was the first time I've been to a gym that big, so like seeing how many things you could do was just like amazing to me. I either play basketball or I work out. I try to stay fit and healthy, and the rec center is the perfect place to do that. My favorite part about playing basketball is just the memories it brings back, because I played for a really long time in high school, and it's great to just be able to go back on the court and shoot around. I try to go every single day, but obviously this is not always going to happen. But when I do go, there's ample equipment, there's weights, there's the swimming pool if you want to just take some cardio, there's the basketball courts again if you just want to shoot around, and there's even other activities like racquetball that you can take part in. Playing any sport really, it brings people together because you're all doing something that you like to do, and it's just an easy way to socialize, but like not too much talking. It's more like a friendly competition. So like whatever you're interested in, I'm pretty sure the rec center has it available for you.
Hey, my name's Stephanie. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Jill. I live in Castor.
I live in Beta.
I'm a health sciences major and I love binge watching Netflix.
You binge watch Netflix? I binge watch Netflix. What's your favorite movie?
Okay, we'll say it at the same time.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Rocky! Oh! Let's be friends.
Okay.
Introduce yourself in the group. Meet other bulls and make friends. A stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. Only strangers in the 2021 group are potential friends. Friendships are the responsibility of the individuals involved. Your experience may vary. Go Bulls.
All right, and that about does it for us. And so you just saw the teaser. Now go to the website, usf.edu/housing. Sign up for Bull Hall today. It's an awesome experience. We've got tons of stuff happening that even leads up to the big event. You're going to make lots of friends. You're going to be connected on campus, and you move in early and for free. And so you definitely want to be here. I'm Greg Bowers with Housing and Residential Education. We are the best place to live, the best place to work, and the best place to learn. Thank you to all of our guests. Thank you to our student crew. It's been lovely serving you in this capacity. We're going to be back with our next episode at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, April 25th. We'll see you on YouTube and Facebook, but until then, there is just one last thing. Go Bulls!